Today's video is out of necessity. We decided we wanted to go out today. Today's July the 4th, and we were going to get a ride. We went to the park, and we were going to take a trail. It was going to be probably around a 16-mile ride, or no, probably a 20-mile ride, including the park and so on. But that was the idea today. But lo and behold, I've been a little slacking with my tire here, not my rear tire, the rear tire. Was already too, I didn't have much of a threat. So we went to the park, went around the park a little bit. We were going to go into the trail and then flat tire. So there it goes. It stops right there. End of the day for our bike ride. So I said, well, you know what, let's go pick up our replacement inner tube and the actual replacement tire. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now the catch, or not the catch, but the nice thing, or the reason why I'm doing this video is because I got me what's called the self-healing tube. This is a 29-inch one, and that's the one, just so you can take a look at it. It's a 29-inch one, and it's self-healing. So it's first time for me. The installation, it seems to be simple. It's just almost like the other one. You just set it up and so on, but it's got this whatever fluid inside. And that fluid, what it does, it just basically, if you get a flat up to a certain, I guess, width or so, it actually heals itself. It's got like a slime or so inside the tire, the actual tube, and it heals the tire. So they call it self-healing. So let me read a little bit of what it does, so at least we know the specs on this one. I was reading it as I went by, but it says basically, first of all, this one has a Schrader valve, which I like better, just because it works. If you get a low tire, or if you have your own pump, sometimes you lose the other adapter, which is for the Presta valve, which is what I had on this one. That's the thin one, and it's a headache. I know it's probably those who are like the ones that ride the nice bikes and so on, they probably prefer that, but in my case I just prefer what they call the Schrader valve, which is just a standard valve, which is pretty much like your car valve. That's what the tires of your car have. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, okay, so it says here, instantly seals tread area punctures up to 1/8 of an inch or 3 millimeters. And it says also that it seals multiple punctures, so you probably will be able to, just have a few flats before you actually have to replace it. It says works repeatedly for 2 years and is non-flammable and non-toxic. So that's what we're up ahead, or what we have now. And for me, again, it's a first time installing it. So let's get to it. Let's do it. So for our setup right now, I'm going to use a 5/8. I think this is a 5/8 cup here. I think that's what's going to do. I'm just going to loosen up the tire. So let me put it. I'm using the hex one. So there we go. Loosening up this side. I'll be loosening up the other side as well. And then since we have the gear set on this side, on this tire, it's going to be a little more of a messy exchange, I guess. I'm going to need to get another one to hold this side so I can, let me see, just tighten this up a little bit, I'm going to need to get something here to hold this. All right, 1 second. I'm going to use this one. All right, so I'm loosening up the other end. Pretty much both ends are now loosened up. And let's see, what else are we going to have to deal with? I believe that's it on this one. Oh, we're also going to have to loosen up our braking system. I'm going to show you now. Yeah, no, actually, you can see it there. I'll be loosening up the braking system, just basically the thread, the nut here. I'm going to loosening it up so it opens up, and I'll be able to pull out the tire. I'm going to loosen up the brake. This is the brake line, I guess. I'll need to make sure that, or you need to make sure that you tighten it up later. But basically, this is so you can let or allow the tire to come out, because it's it's in the way there. So just loosen it up so that it'll come out. And we're gonna have to play around with basically this. Let's see what we got there. That I hear something holding us. No, I guess it's just loosening up this nut a little further. There we go, that too. All right, there we go. Tire is out. You gotta just gently remove it and then just play with your chain. Make sure that you don't make a big mess out of the chain, and remember how to put it back. Basically, I'm just laying it there. Now here we go. We have our tire out of the bike, and we're gonna start working with this. All right, so it's time to remove the tire and the tube. So we're gonna go ahead and first we're gonna take the, oh, let me see, I gotta get this other tool here. Loosen up this piece here a little bit, just enough so I can do it with my hand, my fingers actually. There we go, right there. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this. This is the other type of valve, which I wasn't too fond of. Every time I had to inflate it, it was just a task for me. So first thing I'm just gonna get the tube out. And this is, as I said, is the other type. I forgot the name of the actual valve, but I'm glad I'm removing it. And normally, you wouldn't have to remove the tire or replace the tire. But in my case, I do have an old tire. And most likely the reason why I had a flat tire is because the thread was already pretty worn out. So I'm actually taking everything out in one shot. But as you can see here, I mean, there's no thread. So my bad, I wanted to extend the use of it until I could, and I guess I did. So here it is. This is what I've got to replace the physical tire, and got that at the store nearby. Thankfully, it's just everything is available there. So let me cut this, and we'll continue on. Get my cutters right here. And there we go. That's out. Take a little shaping to do. We'll do that. And also, already, that's our tire. Going to where it needs to be, pretty much. All right. So we'll get this portion of it inside. This is a 29-inch one. We'll get that in place, get the one side in, actually. That's what all I need for the moment. But you know what? The way it is, just to kind of get it shaped into the tire for the first time, of the rim, I'll say, I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, no, you know what? I can do just one side. And there it goes, it's almost there. There we go. So I've got the inside, one of the sides in. And second part is this. Now, one thing is, I said, this is it. That's what I bought. It's called Slime, and it's a 29-inch tire, which goes with this one. And look at the bottom, it says self-sealing tube. Now, as per the instructions, and this is normal procedure anyways, you want to make sure that you inflate the tire a little bit. Basically, that enables you to set it up correctly inside the rim. But that's what we're going to do. I'm just pulling it out, and in just a second I'm going to go ahead and inflate it. And as I mentioned, the valve is a standard valve. I mean, for me, this is what works best. It's just my preference. I'm sure the other one, it's fancier and whatever, but for me, this is what works. All right, so I just brought my trusty pump. Just gonna go ahead and put some air, a little bit of air. It says, let me just read that instruction for you, so that way you can go ahead and follow it through. But it's right on the box, in the rear portion of the box. And it says oops, I got it backwards. Step number 3 says, before installing, slightly slightly, just barely inflate the new tube to give it shape. It's just to give it the shape of the actual tire, and that's what we're about to do. So here we go. I'm doing the same thing. Got my pump. I'm going to take the valve cap and put it in right in and locking it. I think that should do the trick. And we're just going to give it just enough air so that it takes shape of the tire. Not too much. All right, a little more. I think that would probably suffice. Just enough to shape it in. I'm taking this off. So now what I'm doing is I'm finding the hole here in to where this valve is going to go. And certainly makes it a lot easier. I've done it the other way because I had not read the instructions, and find myself, in fact, once I broke one inner tube, or it wore out really easy because I must have pinched it. And the reason why it must have gotten pinched is because I didn't semi-inflate it like I did this time, which it makes complete sense because it allows you, just get the tire properly in place all throughout the tube. And again, it's just slightly inflated, and now I can easily start with my hand, just putting the other portion in place, the outer side in place. And at first, this might be a two-person, sometimes easy if you have someone helping you, but nothing that cannot be done. So I'm just gonna take my time, just be patient and do it right. There we go. Just trying to hold it in place with one hand, and then as I start shaping it and shoving it in, it starts kind of getting, first of all, it kind of becomes easier and easier, and then towards the end it becomes harder because you have to really work on getting it in. You might have to use a pair of, not a pair, but something like a screwdriver or so to kind of get it into place. But you might be able to just get into place by hand. If you can't, then just use, as I said, a flathead screwdriver. But look, I didn't have to. And look at that, right in place. And I know nothing is really pinching at this point just because it was semi-inflated, so it did shape up around the whole rim, in the outer area of the rim inside the tire. And I'm confident that I'm going to be able to inflate this and just mount it right back. But it's looking good. Look at this. So before I inflate it all the way, I'm going to go ahead and put it in just because it makes it a lot easier to get it through the brake system here. So all you got to do is make sure that you have the right side of the gears towards where it has to go, and then we'll put it in. Okay, so we'll do that step next. All right, so I'm getting the tire inflated. We'll do about 30 pounds, this one tells me. I'm happy with that, I like it. And then I'm going to go ahead and replace the valve. I mean, not replace, just cover the valve. Nice and tight, not too hard. So the brakes, I tightened up the brake. Already did a little test for it. There we go. Let's go ahead and take a test drive, and I'll be right back. So here we go. Tire is taken care of. Feels good. It feels just as good as it always is, but brand new tire, brand new inner tube. This one is self-healing, so next time around that I get a problem or that I get a flat, I'm gonna have a better chance of it just self-healing. I always keep with us in the car our tire inflator, so it won't be as difficult, as problematic as having to go to the store, having to buy it. So what I'm going to do is ask those of you that have already used these self-healing tires to leave in the comments, I mean, what your experience is so far. I will probably do an update video, hopefully when maybe I get a flat or something, and see how it behaves. But so far, the replacement is just as easy as the other ones. They're very inexpensive too. I picked this up at the local Walmart as we were coming back from where we were driving. But it's just perfect. I mean, this is going to work for us, will work for me, and hopefully I'm going to start replacing the rest of the inner tubes with self-healing once I find out, or once your comments are like, hey, this thing is great, or this is whatever. Again, this is about getting your input as well. In my case, just wanted to show you how simple it was to set it up. But also on your end, if you guys have already experienced this type of inner tubes, the ones that have self-healing, just let us know. All right, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.